All right. Hello, Dragonlings. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name ST Hegyes. I'm going to double check and make sure everything is working correctly. And we'll get started. All right. We are good to go. Hello, welcome. If you're new here, what we tend to do is we tend to do four 25-minute writing sprints with some chit chat in between. I usually have guests on, and usually when I'm double checking, making sure everything's working, they're introducing themselves. So, like, it's really weird for me to be streaming myself. I was originally going to stream using OBS, but I still have things to tweak with it. And have to figure it out. It's not quite going the way I would like it to. I'll get there eventually. I'm not there yet. I need to do a bunch more testing with it. Not on days that I have like scheduled streams. And then maybe one of these days I'll actually figure out my shenanigans. But welcome. If you're new, I want to say hi to everyone in the chat so far. So we've discussed in the past how YouTube and Restream, which is what I'm using to stream, don't always show the exact same thing. So let me show you what I'm seeing on my side as far as Restream goes. And I see a lot more comments over on the YouTube side than what Restream shows, because this is what Restream shows. It shows 3 comments. That's it. And there's like 5 or 6. And Laura's is the first one it shows on Restream. So if you guys ever wonder why sometimes I don't catch up with the stream as far as like comments go, this is why, because this is what I'm seeing on the Restream side, and I have to flip over to the YouTube side in order to catch up with comments. So I'm going to turn that off because that's going to annoy me to see it not matching. But let's say hi to everyone in the comments. Jenna popped in first before I was even live saying hi. Saying that she was tagging the like button. Renee is here. Hello. I'm trying to get this dang website to do what I want it to, trying to figure it out. I feel that because I am, every once in a while, I look at my website and I'm like, I need to update it and I want to change the entire layout when I do. Don't ask me why, but that's just always the feeling I get. Whenever I need to update something on my website, I'm just like, but I want to change the entire thing too. I always get that itch. Laura's here. Hello. Katie is here. Hi. JC is also here. Hello. Laura says, I think I might read tonight or just go to sleep. I am all for the sleep. If you need to go to sleep, I will not deny you the sleep. It is late. I understand that. It's you are on the Pacific time zone, so it's like 8:30 for you, I believe, Laura. Correct me if I'm wrong. But for everyone on like the East Coast side, it's like 11:30 at night. So if you need to go to bed, I'm all for it. I love the sleeps. I am running on like 2 hours of it myself. So if you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. See. Katie says, I have less than 8,000 words left in my novel. I should be done by the end of the month. Oh, congratulations. You've got this. Let's do it. We'll help you knock out some of those words tonight. Laura says, I think there's a huge delay with Restream. There is a huge delay, but not only that, it doesn't show any comments before you go live. So if there's anything posted before you go live, it never shows them. And it doesn't always show all the comments while you are live. It like picks and chooses what it wants to show. Why does my sound keep going up randomly? Whatever. Stop it. My computer keeps popping up the little noise box thingy saying that this volume has been going up and down. It's glitch. It just went up again. Whatever. I'm gonna ignore you. I see you popped up again. So yes, it not only does it lag, but it doesn't always show all of the comments. So like it's skipping. Even now, it's skipping around comments. It doesn't have. It doesn't have the one from Katie saying, "Oh, that's so weird. Does it really lag?" Doesn't have that one. Anyways, everyone's saying hi to each other. JC, 11:30 is all early. What do you mean? It's early for us night folks. It's not early for everyone else. Yep, it should be bedtime, but I'm a night owl. I want to write at least 500 tonight. We've got you. We're going to do some sprints, 25-minute sprints coming up in just a second. And Jess is here. Hello. All right, I have reached the end of the comments. So if you're new here, the way we usually do it is I do 4 25-minute sprints. I do some chit chat in between. We got a 5-minute timer that runs. Nixie here will tell us when to stop and start. Hello, Ogre. Hello. Doggo Snoot. Nixie will tell us when we can and cannot write. You've got dried snot around your nose. Anyways, can you stop looking at me now? Thank you. Let me know what you guys are working on tonight. Some of you guys are going to be doing some writing. Some of you guys are going to be doing editing. I am actually going to be stealing an idea from JC, and I'm going to be doing some video editing. I meant to get it finished earlier this weekend, and I didn't. Mostly because there was some stuff I was missing, and I just got that earlier today, and now I get to finish editing it and putting it together and hopefully get it uploaded soon. Because I got a vlog I need to upload, and then I would like, fingers crossed, on Monday to edit and upload, film, edit, and upload another video. I would like to have like a couple videos ahead and get back on track with whatever I used to be. Laura asks, did you ever write in public like cafes or libraries? I haven't recently. When we first moved up here, we didn't have internet right away. In fact, I think we didn't have internet for a good 6 months while we were trying to research what would actually work up here as far as internet goes. And we were waiting at the time. Starlink was still in its beta form, and like they pick and chose who got to have Starlink, and so we were on the wait list for that to see if we qualified. And then once we got the email saying we qualified, we had to pay for all the equipment and get it shipped here and then get it all set up. But I did a lot of writing in libraries then because I would do a lot of my freelance work at the time, because I was doing freelance work when we first moved up here. You're shedding, and I got hair in my mouth from you already. Thanks. I love you too. But so we did a lot of library writing then. These days, there is no real places to sit in any of the cafes here. That's going to be changing. They are working on opening up. There was a cafe that when we first moved up here was here. However, it was right next to a nail salon that caught fire. It was like one of those chain stores things. There was electrical fire in the nail salon, and then the two buildings on either side of it got lots of smoke damage, so they had to shut them down. And they are moving that cafe. It was a coffee shop. They're moving the coffee shop into a different building across the street that has more space and more seating. So hopefully soon, within like the next year, I'll be working in cafes again. Otherwise, the only other place that has a sit-down spot that I could possibly write early in the morning is a local bakery that has like 2 tables. So I haven't, but I want to. It's like on the to-do list of things I would like to do. So Laura also asked, what is one of your favorite lines that you've written recently? I will have to think on that. I've been rereading a bunch of stories today when I was at the laundromat waiting on clothes. So I would reread like 4 or 5 different stories that weren't complete. So I don't know. I haven't been writing anything recently. I've been working on various other things. All right, I'm going to get these last 2 comments from Laura, and then we're going to go ahead and start that first sprint. So there's a yellow deli here around here that's 24/7, so that's nice. Ooh, 24/6. Is it closed on Sundays, out of curiosity? Or is it closed on different? Stores here are closed on Sundays and Mondays, and they're open Tuesday through Saturday. It's really weird. I love it because it means that I can go to places on Saturdays, but it's still really weird in my mind because I'm so used to stores being open like Monday through Friday. And some stores are open Monday through Friday, don't get me wrong. But some of the stores, some of the mom and pop stores that are locally owned are open Tuesday through Saturday so they can get those Monday through Friday workers in there on Saturdays. It's really weird, and I love it. All right, Kate, I'm going to save your comment for when we come back. We're going to go ahead and do our first sprint. I wish I could mark that. I think I can. Yes. Okay. All right. I can mark it. If it shows up on Restream, I can mark it there so I can come back to it and look at it. So I was able to do that. All right. We're going to start our first sprint, 25 minutes. If you are new here, I also like to put up writing prompts. You do not have to write the writing prompt. It's just there if you want to write but don't know what you want to write about. And this one is the first one. It says, I don't know what you just did, but don't do it again. So that is our first writing prompt. If you want to use it, we're going to sprint starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know how you did what you did in the comments. I managed to finish editing my vlog. It was exporting. It just finished like a few seconds ago. At least I'm assuming so. It says it's finished. So on the next sprint, I'll be watching that to make sure everything worked and it's copacetic and everything like that. Which means it'll be like the fourth or fifth time I've watched. It'll be the first time I've watched it in full, but the fourth or fifth time I've watched some of the clips. It's just the way it always goes. The other thing I did is I made a thumbnail and I set up my vlog on my Notion page so that I can. What I like to do is I like to set up stuff in Notion so that I have my descriptions readily available, so I can just copy and paste text over whenever I upload everything. Because while my internet speed is pretty good, I did discover that my internet speed at work is better for uploading videos, whereas it might take like an hour and a half to upload a 30-minute video here at the house. It takes like 5 minutes at work. So I try to have everything ready to upload and upload 3 or 4 videos at a time at work, because it'll take the same amount of time to upload 3 or 4 videos at work as it will take up to do one here. So that's what I've been doing lately when I've been trying to upload videos. So on the next sprint, I'm going to finish getting my description stuff in Notion, and I'm going to watch the vlog and make sure it's good to go. But how did you guys do? I'm going to go ahead and go back to the comments and check those out. Let's see where I stopped. Let's see, I had marked a comment to show where I stopped, so I could go back on YouTube and find it. Okay, let's see. It was from Katie. Said, I like sitting in Barnes & Noble across from the section my books could be when they're published. Ooh, I love that idea. The closest Barnes & Noble to me is a little over an hour away. That's just not feasible for me to go to on a daily basis or even like a weekly basis. That's just, it's not going to happen. Laura said closed on Saturdays for their Sabbath. Oh, I love that. Okay. Margaret's here. Hello. She's okay. So I'm reading this comment and she's got it posted in 3 ways. This is Skye is on. And all I can imagine is this radio announcer going, Skye is on. So that's what I assumed. You did. In my head, that's what you did, Margaret. Margaret says, I just got back from a reading by a fellow local author to support, so I'm working on nothing, just checking in. Ooh. Which local author? I'm curious. I know that there are a couple local authors here. However, they are much older generation than I am, which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying anything against that. It's just that it's mostly people who are like retirement and they're working on memoirs and stuff just to keep the information from their family legacies alive, kind of thing. They're not trying to make it a career. It's just something to pass the time while they are not doing anything else because they're retired. So at least the ones I've met so far, because I have met a couple. One of the things I haven't had a chance to do yet that I am looking into or want to look into, hopefully before the end of summer, I've got like a month to do this because it's only open for July and August, and that is the farmer's market. I wanted to check in. I want to visit the farmer's market because I haven't yet this year. They only opened like the second week of July, so it's not. They've only been running the farmer's market. It's run once a week on Thursday for a couple hours. And I think July 10th was the first week that they did it. I think that was what they did. I'm not positive, but one of the things I'm trying to look into that I haven't yet is the fact that I would love to have, I'm hoping by this time next year, I have some paperbacks, and I'm hoping by this time next year, I can be at the farmer's market set up with a table to sell some books. Like that's my goal. If not next year, the year after. But I need to look into like how to do that, like who I need to talk to about setting up at the farmer's market, or if it's just a come one, come all setup where you can find space kind of thing. I don't know. So I have to find that out. I paused the timer because I've got more comments to go through. If you're new to my channel, I like to go through all the comments before I start the next sprint. So Kay says, struggling with this sweet kiss scene. Hard. It's probably going to be the second to last kiss, but I want it to be a good one. Ooh, I love that. Hello, Angel. Long time no see. Stephanie popping in. She abandoned me. For those who don't know, I usually stream on Saturday evenings with Stephanie. And she's actually currently hosting her own stream right now. She is doing a 48-hour productivity and reading. Hi, Ogre. Hi, must have loves. 48-hour productivity and reading sprints. Steph, feel free to drop a link to that if you want to. I popped over there during the sprint to say hi, too. God, I keep bumping my chair and my table. Yes, I give you the loves. I give you all the loves. Okay. But anyways, she usually streams with me, but because she's doing that, it's to help celebrate 1K subscribers for the person that's hosting the entire thing. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephanie, but I believe that's what it's for. I popped in her earlier stream early Saturday morning, this morning, like at midnight my time. So, but yeah, she abandoned me. She doesn't love me anymore. Katie got 231 words. Everyone's saying hi to each other. 230 words and got past the kissing scene. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Jeez, I cannot. This is what happens when I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep, guys. My brain is working faster than my eyes can read and my mouth can move. And it's just, this is the only reason I'm awake, and that is not helping with the tongue tiedness. I'm just saying. Raven is here. Hello. Kay says, I watch my videos at almost 3 times the speed to edit faster. I don't do that. I will admit that when I'm doing the first watch through of the video, the first time I just do like random clicks to see if everything exported correctly. And then once I upload it to YouTube, that's when I watch it completely from beginning to end to make sure everything worked the way it's supposed to. Raven says, I've been packing since I'm moving, but going to break for write for a bit. Oh, you're moving? Is this a good move or is this a bad move? Like, are we moving because we want to, or are we moving because we have to? Or is it a bit of both? Because it's okay if it's a bit of both. Okay. Margaret said, I accidentally hit return after the first one, so I made it a pattern. I do that all the time. If I'm on my phone, I will start typing a comment, and when I'm trying to put like a quotation mark, it'll hit enter, and then I continue on as if I didn't mess up, like I did it on purpose. And I'm just like, screw it, let's go. This local author is one I was in a writing group with for years. Yeah, I'm familiar with your older gen memoir writer too. They come to certain events. Yeah. Everyone's saying hi, hello. As if that would ever be possible. As if what would ever be possible? JC, I'm confused. Stephanie says, yeah, reading with Neva. Is it Neva? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Reading with Neva? Hit 1K stops. Yes, truck is okay. Tires have been fixed. We're good to go. That got fixed like the same weekend. It just took a while. I think I spelled that name correctly. I don't watch anything at any speed but the normal speed. Here I am sitting with my watch list. I got it down to 0 videos the other day. And like the very next day, all of a sudden I added like 22 videos to it. And I always watch videos at 1.5 speed or 1.25, depending on the person. Some videos I have to watch at normal speed, especially if they have, I use the term watch loosely, by the way, if you're new here. Some I have to watch if they have any kind of an accent, just because I have hearing issues. I do have to watch those at normal speed. But otherwise, I usually am putting videos at 1.5 speed and just letting it roll. Margaret said, I could keep going with the play games with us. funny story. Before I laid down and took my nap, my husband and I went out on our usual bi-weekly, at this point, date night where we basically go out to lunch and budget. And I was telling him, I was like, "Oh, I'm getting back in time while you're getting ready to do your D&D stuff. I could go stream some games." What do? I take a nap. It was a glorious nap. Don't get me wrong, but I could have been playing games. Renee said, "I had you on TV while working, and the sound turned off, so I kept on working. Missed the whole break. Don't worry, we're still chit chatting." As if Stephanie could not love you. Okay, got it. Neva. Okay, I got watch later down to 99. 1.25 to 2 for me. I can't watch them on 2 speed. I don't know why. I don't. You okay, Goblin? Dude, with every day that passes, you worry me more and more. My old man Goblin, he is 16 years old, and he was literally just walking down the hall to come to the room, and he stumbled and almost face planted into the floor. He is going blind. He is going deaf. He is a very, very old man. And every other day he worries me to the fact that I will possibly wake up and he will not be with us anymore. I hope that if that does happen, I'm the one that finds him, because I will handle it better than everyone else in my family. You don't want to be in here anymore? And he's leaving. And he just tried to faceplant again. That poor old man. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. He keeps wandering between here, our bedroom, and my husband's office, where he's currently playing D&D with his online group. Anyways, Raven says, "My roommate had to go into senior housing. The rent is so high, I don't think I can get another roommate. I'm going to move in with a relative." I feel that. So it's a mixture of both having to and wanting to. So I totally get that, though, because I've talked about it here and there. I haven't talked about it recently, but like definitely a couple months ago, I was very gung-ho. Like I want to move. I want to move back to North Carolina. My husband was born and raised in North Carolina, and I spent majority of my life in North Carolina. So all of our friends, even the group that he's playing D&D with, some of them are no longer in North Carolina because they're military and they've moved around. But like 90% of that group he's playing D&D with right now are in North Carolina. And when we go down for my sister's wedding in October, we're actually planning on doing a meetup with those who are in North Carolina as well. So that's one of the things that we are talking about doing. Like, we're planning on meet up with all of our friends and family while we're there for like a week, and we're planning it carefully. I was telling him today while we were on our lunch date, I was like, because he talked to today is his brother's birthday. His brother is 15 years younger than him, but he is now legally drinking age. I don't remember how old he is off the top of my head. That's bad. I'm a bad sister-in-law. I know he's of drinking age because we celebrated that a couple years ago. Not the point. The point is that he was talking with his mom to try to get up with his brother to tell him happy birthday. And one of the things we're talking about possibly doing is moving back down to North Carolina and staying with his mom and his brother. It's one of the things that's in talks. I will probably be doing a video about that in further detail in the future, but we're still very much in talks. Nothing is set in stone. Absolutely nothing is set in stone. All right, Margaret says, I'm not looking forward to that with my old man. Yeah. And Margaret asked what area Raven is living in, and what genre is your current work in progress. I am currently not working on anything because I have been spending the past couple of weeks working on a master list of all the projects I have ever done in my entire lifetime that I have on my computer, because I was getting stuff mixed up with file organization. So it helped me a lot. But I haven't actually begun writing anything since finishing that up. I have been brainstorming a bunch of different things in a bunch of different genres, mostly paranormal romance. But I've done like a dystopia piece as well, which I've told JC a little bit about. Actually, I basically showed JC everything that I've done with it so far. I was like, this is what brainstorming is like for me. And I sent her screenshots. I was like, this is how my brain works. La di da di da. Sorry, JC. I love you. I promise. Oh, let's see. Angel says, I sold 2 paperbacks of my debut novel, which marks 6 in total this year. That is awesome. Congrats. Working on my first cozy fantasy mystery novel. Ooh. If you need betas, hit me up. I love cozy fantasy is becoming one of my new favorite genres. And if you're going to add mystery to it, I am down for it. Raven is in Oregon, in the Portland area. My potential new residences are 2-hour drives away, so very far. Yeah. And Margaret says, you're in my area. Hello, is it Pasqua? I am probably butchering that. I am so sorry. Welcome to my channel. Hello. Angel had to mute us because of Skype call. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to get to the bottom of these comments. And we're going to start our next sprint because we've been chit-chatting for a bit. And Nixie is waiting patiently. Yes, I have been brainstorming. Laura is beta reading right now. And JC says it's a great project. Well, thank you. Jess says, remember, we need those spreadsheet lessons. Yes, I actually, Jess, feel free to drop a comment talking about like what you would like to see as far as like spreadsheet stuff, because I don't even remember anymore what I said in past stuff of what I was going to do videos on. I know that I'm going to do a video about this master project list. Like that's in the works. I have been filming that one on and off for the past couple of days. Every time I've made changes to the list, I've had to redo my filming or been like, I made changes, guys. So, so feel free to tell me like what you're wanting to see, because I don't remember. I did not write it down. Not that smart. One of these days I will get smarter and start writing stuff down. Today is not that day. Maybe if you post the comment saying what you would like to see, I will remember to write down. Except I don't have any post-it notes in here. I do have that notebook I left in here from the live stream that I can write random things in. So, but it's almost full. Oh, it's not as full as I thought. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's because I started filling up some of the back pages. Not certain why. Anyways. JC says, don't apologize. I love it. Well, thank you. I'm glad you do. Because the further I got in brainstorming it and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I talk about it in a vlog, and the vlog that's going to be posted, the vlog I've been editing, I talked about some of my feelings towards it. So that's coming up on Tuesday. My brain works lucky. If I only had a brain. Margaret says, yes, I cringe sympathy in the Rhett situation. Just take a picture of the comment with your phone. That is too smart, JC, okay? And I'm not that smart. Okay, Jess said, yes, updated master list. And I remember the highlighting thing that like your, okay, that takes part in it too. So I can talk about both of those in the same video. So we got this. Okay. Oh, the name list is what I need to do too. Look at me. I'm going to just do, because have I actually done that? No. No, I haven't done that. Figure out what pen I was going to use in this notebook. Name list update with highlighted names. And then the master list. Look at me being all productive. Master list good. There we go. Nope, this one. And that list was never seen again. It's all good. All right, I have made it to the end of the comments that I can see. So I am going to mark it if it shows up. Yes, it shows up. Restream likes to sometimes show the comments and sometimes doesn't. So I am marking that comment for now. We're going to go ahead and do another sprint. 25 minutes. If you want to write but don't know what you want to write about, I got you covered. Here is a writing prompt for those who need something to work on. And this one says, everything comes at a price. Sometimes it's coins or jewels, sometimes it's actions, sometimes it's promises and secrets. But believe me, everything, and I do mean everything, comes with a price. So that is our writing prompt for those who want to write but don't know what they want to write about. Maybe this will inspire you. And we're going to start sprinting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know how you did, what you did in the comments. I actually had to disappear for a moment so I could go talk to the kiddos about different things. And when I came back, I had misplaced my phone that I had never taken off the charger behind me. For some reason, in my head, I had carried it out to the kitchen with me. I have not once had it in front of me all night until a few minutes ago. In my brain, it was in front of me, and I carried it out to the kitchen. I talked to the girls because they were watching TV in the living room. We were talking about a few things, and then I came back, and I was looking around for my phone, like, where did I put it? I literally walked back out to the kitchen to find it again. It was plugged up behind me the entire time, where it's been since before I took my nap. How much of a smart cookie am I? Okay, now that we've got that established, and you know exactly where my brain is and how it works, I rewatched loosely is the term I would use. The video to make sure I exported correctly, and then I was updating the video description that I want to put when I upload it with the links I want to include, because I like to, if I mention videos or mention things in my videos, I like to make sure I have all the links to those videos. So I did that. And that was pretty much the entire thing I did on the sprint. So I've got one more link to find and add, and then I will be completely done with editing that video and it's ready for uploading on Monday when I go to work. So let's take a look at the comment section. Let me move this computer out of my way. Um, I'm streaming on my gaming desktop, and I am doing things on the laptop at the same time. So I have to move it out of my way and take a look at this. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. What was the last comment that I posted? I starred Jess's comment. So let me go back up, scroll up to Jess's comment. Margaret said good night, and I replied back, and so did JC. And then Laura said, I can't tell if I'm being too harsh in my feedback, but they want a 7-10 on the bluntness scale, and this is the draft they are currently hearing. Oh, I had Steph's stream open and I didn't realize it. And I just heard a sound and I'm like, what was that? It's from Steph's stream. The sprint just ended on their channel. So I muted that. Okay. Dear Googly Moogly. This is why I don't have many tabs open. I pick on Amy all the time. I used to stream with Amy all the time. She's a friend from high school who also does writing stuff every once in a while. And she's a freelancer who does websites and stuff now. But I joke with her all the time because she's always got a million tabs open. And I'm like, I can't handle more than 5 tabs. And it's because I can't find where the random noise is coming from otherwise. I literally just had that happen. Hi, Ogre. You're such a cuddle bug. You just want all the love-ins and all the attention. He literally comes up and just shoves his face in my lap. Hi. To go back to Laura's comment, I have no idea because I am very blunt with my delivery to the point where I have been told that I am not a good editor. But I'm sorry, if you're mentioning something for the 15th millionth time and you've supposedly edited something multiple times, especially like if your facts are wrong, I'm going to point it out and I'm not going to be nice about it. JC said it's not too harsh if it's going to make the story better. 100% agree with that, but at the same time, I also want you to be like completely upfront with me. If like I using the example I just used, if I mention something for the 15th millionth time and you're just like, ugh, Skye, we get it. Tell me. Tell me. Pasqua says, trying to write a mage battle, and I'm getting exactly nowhere. I am so sorry. Battle scenes are really difficult for me. I struggle with them every time. It's actually one of the reasons why I am leaning more towards cozy fantasy for writing as far as like stuff goes, because then I can, skip those battles for the most part in the fantasy. The paranormal romances are a different story. But as far as like fantasy goes, straight fantasy. More and more these days, I'm leaning towards cozy for that reason, so I can avoid those kind of things. because I'm terrible at them. Katie says almost up to 1,000 words already. That's awesome. I don't remember how many words you got to do tonight, but I know we're going to get you there. Do you have a goal that you set for tonight? I remember you telling us the goal like overall, but I don't remember a goal for tonight. So curious. Raven says, if I can scroll back up to where I was at. I wrote 336 words, better than I thought I would do. That's awesome. Congrats. JC says, I messaged Skye and then I worked on this poem during the sprint. Good job. You're doing awesome. Katie got about 700 words that time. Nice. Everyone's talking. And Angel says, I'm back. Nice. Welcome back. Katie says, I might have another 500 in me before sleep. Don't worry, we'll get you there. Since the ICOs are still flowing, I hate to stop and go to sleep. JC said, awesome job. And also very nice to Raven to do. Everyone's saying thank you. And welcome back. Angel says, this is what I'm working on. An ordinary female detective finds out she can see magical creatures in her world and hears their cries for help with her pet companion. Ooh, I love that. I am here for that. This is the cozy fantasy mystery you're talking about, right, Angel? I love a story with a pet companion. Pasco says the struggle is real. It is. Kay says, I didn't have a goal for tonight, just to sit down and write. I guess that's my goal. There you go. See? Goal accomplished. Everything else is gravy. Everything else is gravy. You got this. I think what I've gotten to the point now is because I have so many videos planned between now and the end of the year that I want to get filmed and edited. I think my Saturday streams are going to be legit me making sure I get everything edited and ready for uploading. As far as like getting my scripts done, like that's what I'll be doing on the next sprint. Once I finish up that description for that one video, is I'll be looking over my script for my next 2 videos so that I can get those ready to go so I can film on Monday. Let's see. And then starting in August, we have All Words August coming up. That is being hosted by Mama Maggie. Let me grab a link to that. Actually, I should have a link to it already. That I'll post. That's not it. Just kidding. I forgot I was doing it on the other computer, so I don't have a link. Give me a second. I'll do that on the next sprint. I'll get that link. But so what I've been doing lately is trying to figure out what projects I want to work on. And I've got a buttload of ideas and for various different stories. And I've been reading back through a bunch of different projects as well to kind of get in the mindset of them and see what I want to work on. Kay says, Angel, that sounds so fun. Angel said, yes, that was the project she was talking about. JC says, I love that story. I want to read it. Angel says, guess who's the pet? I have no idea who the pet is, but the way you said that makes it sound like maybe it's not what we would think of. So obviously, I'm thinking it's not going to be a cat or dog. And if you hadn't written it the way you did, I would think that she was the pet of another creature, maybe? Like the human was the pet? I'm not going to lie. I like video stories where they subvert the pet companion idea. And it's like they meet up with this otherworldly creature, whatever, and they become the pet. Kind of like, okay, so the Star Wars is a perfect example. There's some theories that about Han Solo and Chewbacca and the fact that they've got that life bond and stuff. But they're like, Han is actually the pet to Chewbacca, not the other way around kind of thing. And so I love that idea. And so in my mind, the moment you said, guess who's the pet? I'm like, oh, it's her. She's the pet. And I know that's not what you mean based on the way you wrote that description, but that's automatically where my brain went. And I'm just like, I'm here for it either way. Kay says, I've written every day this month. That's awesome. The congrats. almost sitting at 30K words for the month again. I will probably have more words this month than last month. That is awesome. I'm so happy for you. JC is pulling double duty and posting links to both the video talking about All Words August as well as the Google Sheet. To be fair, I haven't looked at the Google Sheet in a little bit. Let's see. No cat or dog, but it's cute. Is it a dragon? Nope. Owl? The female is not the pet. Darn. I knew for the description it was. It's just that's where my brain went automatically. Can I get a clue for 200? Okay, let's see. It's either going to be, okay, if it's cute. Okay, it depends on our definition of cute because I find frogs cute and I find possums cute and I find raccoons cute. And most people do not. And like I'm here with I think snakes are cute, depending on the kind of snake it is. And I think spiders can be cute, can being the operative word. There's this little animation that started off as a homemade animation called Lucas I think it's called Lucas the Spider. Super cute. Now that it's blown up and they have their own channel that is on like a kids network now and it's adorable, but brain just died. But like that spider is like I think it's a jumping spider and it's super cute. But most spiders are not cute. Just saying. Let's see. Bunny. The hint is cute tree, chubby cheeks. I'm thinking squirrel, chipmunk, or koala. Those are the three options that I think of. There's so many hours. Okay, the tree threw me off. Chipmunk, cherub. Is it cherub? Cherub? How do you pronounce that? I've always said cherub, but I don't think that's right. Monkey, koala, sloth. That's not an animal. Squirrel? Close to what Pasco said. Okay, Pasco said chipmunk. What's close to a chipmunk? Flying squirrel? Sugar glider? I don't know. I'm just going through random animals now. What is similar to a chipmunk? JC was right. Squirrel. I'm guessing it's squirrel. Jess says, my nephew is less than a year old and loves Lucas the Spider. Okay, I'm glad that someone else knows. I'm like subscribed to their channel and they're like always streaming because they're streaming the shows on loop. It's adorable. Skye has Quest right the first time. JC is right. Oh, guessed. Okay. Squirrels are cute. Yes, I agree. Squirrels are cute. I went through all of the animals just to get to that though. It's just like it's got to be one of these creatures. Squirrel is very similar to God. Yes, it is. And squirrels are adorable. Yeah. His name is Maximus, nicknamed Riddle. I am here for it. Just says his sister sings the song constantly. It's been so long since I've watched Lucas the Spider that I don't even know the song you're talking about. I'm going to have to go back and watch and find it. And watch it. I say that as if I'm not subscribed to the channel. Aw, Maximus. Yes. That is an adorable name for a squirrel. I love when photographers take pictures of squirrels and they're jumping from trees and they've landed and they're doing like the superhero pose. Gets me every time. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it. If it's as long as it's a different squirrel in every picture, I eat it up every time. I'm with JC. I can't wait to read this. This sounds amazing. I love this already. He can talk through telepathy to the female detective as his spirit is from the fantasy world. Ooh, we got. Is it a parallel world or like a portal world? Like, how does this work? I need to know these things. But I'm already in love with this story. And I cannot wait. And if you ever need beta readers, I'm here. I'm here for it. Eventually, I have to put out a call for beta readers. I am not to that point yet. I would like to have the first draft of the first 7 short stories done before I'm ready for that. Let's see. Jess says, I'm Lucas the Spider. I like to play pretend. I've got a fuzzy bomb and I want to be your friend. My world is full of wonder. Want to come and see? Because I would really love it if you would play. In my mind, I want to finish that as if you would play with me. Parallel world. Okay, cool. I don't think I've actually heard the song. Then again, I haven't watched a lot since they went over to the kids' TV network, so that would be one. But yeah, Lucas is adorable. It's like one of the few spiders that I'm like, oh, every time I see it. And anytime someone crochets or makes like crafts with spiders, I am here for it. I am not a fan of spiders in real life. I'm like, you can stay over there, I'll stay over here. We'll be happy. We can coexist in opposite ends of the room. But I do not consider spiders in real life cute, except for the jumping spiders, the little teeny tiny ones. They're so tiny. Like the ones that I follow or were following, like there was a creator I was following. I don't remember which it was on, but like the spider would sit on her finger. It was small enough to sit on the tip of her finger, and like you could still see her finger around the spider. I'm just like, oh, that is adorable. Story happens in Philadelphia, but I'm still looking for a name for the parallel world. Okay. You are right, YouTube ran out of space. That's fine. Oh, the song. Got it. Took me a moment. Laura says, I finished reading through their chapter. I think it needs some work, trying to blunt my harshness. Okay. I don't blame you. Working on Steph's short story was the first time I've beta read anything in years. Literal years. Because the last time I was beta reading for people, I got told that my feedback was too harsh and they were not appreciative of it, even though they had point blank told me, be harsh, I want to know your opinions. And then I was told they didn't like it and that I was a bad editor. So that was fun. And I haven't done anything. I haven't even volunteered since. But JC was like, can you? And I'm like, I guess. So I did. JC says, you give excellent feedback, Laura, so I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Laura says, after 4K words in a whole chapter, I still don't care about a single character. Ooh. Ouch. Ow. I'm not going to lie. That is one of my worst fears, actually. So, one of my worst fears as a writer, welcome to Worst Fears 101 as a writer. One of my worst fears, and the thing that I constantly think about, even though in my head, all of my characters are different. They all have different dynamics. They all have different thought processes. They all have different backgrounds and characterization. But my worst fear is that they come across on paper as sounding and looking exactly the same, so that I've got the same character across all of my stories. That is my worst fear. Whether it is accurate, I have no idea. But that is my worst fear come to life, is that all of my stories, like the feedback that I will get as far as like reviews go, is that I write the same exact character in every single story. Worst fears unlocked. In my head, it's not true, and I know it's not true, but that niggling imp, as the Mama Maggie calls it, in the back of my head, is like, people are going to hate your story because it's all the same character. All you did was change their name. So that's a constant battle I have in my head. It's lovely. Or says, I need my first 1,500 words beta read for a competition for my Dark Academia. It's due on July 31st. Today is the 26th. Feel free to send it my way. If you don't mind bluntness and you're good with that, I can take a look at it. I have time, since I'm basically killing time until August 1st to start on projects. This is my way of procrastinating. volunteering to do things I really technically don't have time for. If I were to actually be working on things I should be working on, it counts. It counts. My 6 month goal says I just have to be working on writing stuff. That's writing stuff. Might not be my own writing stuff, but it's writing stuff. Raven says it can be hard to be good, to be a good beta reader. I tried to beta read one Tumblr buddy's work. I think my feedback was too subjective. Kay says my characters in book 2 are complete opposite of my characters from book 1. JC says send it to me. And Laura says, yay, be blunt, please. Okay, yeah. Feel free to send it to me. Kay says, I'm only a beta reader for my favorite author. She is amazing. That's awesome. Raven says Robert Heinlein was actually known for how each of his books had the same characters, just different names and faces. Right? And Heinlein's work, okay, I have read 2-3 books from Heinlein so far. My favorite book from Heinlein is Have Spacesuit Will Travel. I absolutely adore that book. I read it so many times from the time my dad handed it to me when I was like 12 to when I turned 18. I think the last time I read it, I was 18. It's been a while. So I haven't read it in a long time. But I read it. It was one of those books that I read annually for a while between those times. And then I've now read The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. My dad keeps trying to get me to read Star Beast. He has a copy of it. I do not. And oh, Katie says I'm going to head to sleep soon. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us, Katie, and I hope you have a great evening and you sleep well. Thank you for not punishing yourself by trying to stay awake. Good job. Proud of you. But what else have I read by Heinlein? I have tried reading. I think he wrote Starship Troopers. I think he wrote that. But Starship Troopers is definitely more military-based sci-fi than, like, I like soft sci-fi versus military sci-fi. I cannot stand military sci-fi. I do not get all of the military terms. You start talking about different weapons and it goes over my head. So I did not enjoy Starship Troopers, the book. That being said, I kind of enjoy the movie. It is very gory, very awful, and if you do not like bugs, I do not suggest watching the movie because it's a it's a military sci-fi book where they are at war with this bug race that's taking over the world. And these are giant bugs, like giant bugs. So if you didn't know, I believe he's the author of that book. Now I'm questioning my sanity. I think Goblin was just in here. Yeah, he did write Starship Troopers. I'm not going crazy. I'm currently reading Time Enough for Love because that was the one that my dad suggested to me for my 12 Recs from 12 Friends. So he wants me to read Time Enough for Love. And then the other one I want to read by him is Stranger in a Strange Land. But that's the one thing I have noticed reading all his books is that they are the same characters basically. And there's nothing wrong with that because there's another author I read that she's got like 100 plus books out and that's literally her characters are the same in every book. And that's her gimmick. That's her gimmick. That's what she likes to do. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to write and that's what you want to do. That is technically not what I want to do. It's just that's my fear of what I am going to do. And if it turns out that it is what I end up doing, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that that's my worst fear is like, as far as like reviews go, is that that's going to be everyone's harshest critic is that they're like, this person just writes the same character over and over again with different storylines. Not necessarily a lie, but not something I want necessarily to be true either. Nothing wrong if you're purposely doing it. Raven says, hi. My mom hated the film Starship Troopers. It was not a good date choice. My dad took her. Oh, goodness. Oh. Starship Troopers is one of those movies, too, that's, it's got some pretty gory scenes. and it's got some pretty raunchy scenes. And it's one that I would think personally that my mom would hate, and she likes it. She doesn't love it, but she likes it. And I'm just like, are you okay? Because I know the kinds of movies you like, and this is not the kind of movie you like. So that is funny that they went out on a date to see the movie, and they I can't imagine that being a date night. Let's go see Starship Troopers. My husband had taken me to see Starship Troopers. I don't think we ever would have gotten married. I don't think it would have happened. That would have been a nope. We would have been done. And that's coming from someone who actually likes the film. That is not what I want to see in theaters. Especially with the price of tickets these days, that is not a theater movie I want to see. I don't know why that amuses me so much, but it does. I'm going to come back and think about that. I need Justice to come in here if he's not doing D&D. I need to know if he's still doing D&D. Because I need to tell him about that one. To be fair, like, so my husband and I started dating in high school, and our first real date, we went to see The Prestige with Hugh Jackman and what's his face? Jude Law? Who's in The Prestige? Is it Jude Law? Am I going crazy? Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman and Michael Caine. Love that movie. It's fantastic. It was a good first date. But at the same time, it's one of those where like it was one of those movies where like I did not get it. I had to watch that movie 3 times before I actually saw all the clues from the beginning to the end. And I am one of those people that if you tell me something's magic, I'm going to believe you. Because my brain cannot wrap around the trick and see how you pulled it off to begin with. And the trick that they showed with the 2 gentlemen on stage at the very beginning, the twins, when they were first introduced to the magic and how it worked, and they had to figure it out and explain to Michael Caine's character how he pulled it off. I still to this day do not understand that. To me, that's just pure magic. I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. I get the theory. I don't get how it's pulled off. Movie magic is how it's pulled off. So, yeah. Now I have to go discuss with my husband the idea of going to see Starship Troopers as a date. Because I cannot imagine that. All right, let's go do another. Let's do another sprint. Oh, I love that idea, Jess. Comedy romance idea. So I'm gonna shoot that idea to Steph actually, because Steph's been doing different books with like bad dates, and that's like beautiful for a bad date. That's beautiful. I love it. And I love it even better the fact that your mom and your dad still got together after watching that film, even though it was a bad date choice. Like, I am here for this. I am here for this romance. All right, let me start that comment so that I can remember where I am. And it is showing up on Restream, but it's not showing the 3 comments before it. Lovely. Anyways, like it doesn't even show Raven's comment about my mom hated the film Starship Troopers. It's not showing that comment. Anyways, I love Restream. I swear I do. Okay, 25 minutes. Let me get my prompt on here for anyone who wants to write but doesn't know what they want to write about. And this prompt says, I don't know why you always claim I've wronged you in some way. All I did was raise you to the best of my abilities. So this may be inspired by something that I have recently heard from one of my own parents, which is lovely. Not a fun thing to hear. Not worded quite the same, but pretty close. But anyways, on that note, we are going to do 25 minutes starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, that is time. Let us know how you did, what you did in the comments. Um, I spent most of that break talking with Justin because I went and told him about the date Raven's parents had to see Starship Troopers and the fact that I told you guys that if he and I would see that movie as a date, we probably wouldn't be married. And he was like, accurate. And then I have to apologize because I lied to you all. In my mind, The Prestige is the first movie that Justin and I saw together as a date. But he had to correct me. He has the movie stubs to prove it. He was like, The Descent is the first movie we went and saw. And so I was like, no, it wasn't. I have it written down. I write everything down, y'all. And I do have it written down. The Prestige was not our first date. In fact, actually, our first date was, our first official date, I should say, was August 2006. And it literally says on this, first official date with Justin, The Descent. Why can I never remember that The Descent was our first date? Because I love The Descent. It is my favorite creature feature horror film to date. And if you don't know what The Descent is about this woman. She is grieving the loss of her husband and child. They both died. They were actually coming back from a camping trip. And while on the camping trip, she figured out that her husband was having an affair. And while she's still dealing with this, they get in a car accident, and her husband and her daughter are killed in the car accident. And so she's grieving the loss of her husband and child while also dealing with the fact that her husband was having an affair, and she had just found out about it the day that the crash happened. And so her friends are trying to pull her out of her funk. It's been like a year or so later. Her friends are trying to pull her out of her funk, and they decide to go cave spelunking. And they go into this cave, and they get lost. And it turns out that one of their friends lied about this particular cave being on the map. They went into an uncharted cave, and weird things start happening, and they start getting attacked by these creatures in the dark. Love the movie. It is absolutely, hands down, my favorite creature feature horror film to date. And why can I never remember that I went and saw it with my husband? That was our first official date, apparently. And I can never remember that. Because in my mind, for some reason, even though it was our second official date, The Prestige was our first date. Like, I have them swapped in my head, even though I literally have it written down. And he has the ticket stubs with the dates to prove that I am wrong. I don't know what's wrong with me. Many things. We won't talk about half of them. So that was what I did. And then he was asking me, he was like, how much longer you got? And I was like, we're on sprint number 3 of 4. And he was like, do you want to play a game with me when you're done? So when we get done with the 4th sprint, I am going to wrap it up because we're going to go play some games before he has to go to bed because he has work in the morning. So, but yeah, that's what I spent most of the break doing. And then I was chatting with a couple people as well. So, all right, let's see what you guys did. I'm going to go check out the comments. Let's see. Angel said, found 2 names to name the parallel world. JC finished a poem, went back to working on another poem, and I read one of the poems she wrote, and that was what I was finishing up when the timer went off. It is very emotional. I loved it. And I was definitely tearing up and had to clear up my eyes before I unmuted myself. See. Pasco says, making progress, is moving along. That's awesome. Happy to hear that. And Raven says, spent most of my time writing in my journal since it's close to bedtime. I have not written in my journal in a couple days, and I've got to play catch up. Still, I'm constantly playing catch up. I don't know why. Mostly because I keep forgetting to write in it. I just need to take it with me to work, I think, and spend like 15 minutes writing in it at work. My thought process was I'll write in it when I first get home from work. But then I never sit down and actually do that. I do a couple times, but I haven't really this week. It like depends on the day. Steph is popping back in, saying, hi, I'm here making sure you didn't forget about me. Forget about me. Don't you forget about me. don't you forget about me. Okay, sorry. Yes, that's where my brain goes. Angel says, I think your brain wants to sleep. No, that's just the problem with my memory. My memory is just shit. I probably do need the sleeps, but like this isn't the first time I've done this. He actually quick to remind me. He's like, this is not the first time we've had this argument, you know. And I'm like, and it probably won't be the last either. JC says I will be reading it tomorrow night on poetry night. Oh, if you guys didn't know, JC and Morgan are doing poetry mic night tomorrow night. I will miss that because I will be doing family night. But I wish you guys all the best, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun. And feel free to drop that link. Come on in with the linky links. Yes, JC, I agree. We could never forget about you, Steph. She's like, yay! All right. So yeah, that's what I spent my time doing. Is replying to different messages. I had like 4 people message me during that time. I spent more than half the break talking to my husband and going down memory lane, talking about the fact of that he's got the pay stubs to prove what movies we went and saw, whereas I don't, but I have it written down. So, all right, last sprint, guys. We got 25 minutes. For those who want to write, you can write all the words. For those who want to edit, you can edit all the things. I'm gonna finalize video stuff, which is what I meant to do on the last break, or last sprint, and didn't do. So, what do I still have to do? I still have to do something. I have to add the image. There's something else I have to do. I don't remember. There was something. JC coming in and dropping in that link. Awesome. Alrighty. I don't know. Anyways, there was something else I needed to do with the video to finalize it before I upload it. Some final stuff I can do here with before I actually upload it. Excuse me. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, I'll figure it out, or I won't, and I'll do something else. I'm gonna do something. All right, 25 minutes, last sprint. We're gonna do words, maybe. Some of us are gonna do words, some of us are not. If you want to write but don't know what you want to write about, here is our 4th and final prompt for the night, and it says, "What's the point of having faith if that faith is so easy to crush?" So that is our final prompt for tonight. We're gonna write for 25 minutes, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. finished my chicken just in time. That is time, everyone. Let me know how you did what you did.
You are not getting anything.
You can go lay down. No. No, sir. Okay. I spent most of that sprint eating snackies, leftovers from lunch, actually. I'm going to go ahead and close the Pomodoro Kitty because we are done with that timer. Let me know how you did what you did in the comments. That's literally all I did is I ate food. I was nuts. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Gotta scroll up to get back to where I was. JC posted a link to open mic night. Steph popped in. She is still sprinting as far as I'm aware. Yes, they have 6 minutes left on their timer. Excuse me. Now I've got hiccups because I was trying to wolf it down real quick. That was my bad. Steph says, I'm going to finish this book I'm reading, would make a vlog clip about it, and then decide what next. I DNF'd 3 different books last night. I literally just started reading them or listening to them, and I was like, nope, and I continue on to the next one. And then I got to the 4th one, and I read it all the way through. Yeah. So that's cool. It's nice to know that it's not always me. It is me, but it's not always me. It's me and my moods. Because I'm most definitely a mood reader, and last night was like final proof of that. Like, if you needed more evidence, I don't know what else to tell you. Let's see. Laura said documents sent, beta reader feedback given. That's awesome. JC was congratulating her. Laura said I'm writing to the prompt, and Laura has put it in the comments. It is 4 pieces long. Okay, hold on. Let me take a drink real quick. I am out of drink. Luckily, I also got a drink on that sprint. The demon opens his hand, the flower of my faith crushed in his palm. My prayers wilts as each petal of divine promises turns to ash, pink lotus transmuted into gray particulate. What's the point in having faith if that faith is so easy to crush? The creature hisses. I gulp back tears as the brimstone stench stings my sinuses and clouds my lungs. I'm choking, dying, and he hasn't even touched me yet. His jaw opens wide, red coarse tongue slithering out to taste my despair. I flinch as it comes into contact with my face, lapping up a trail of tears in one long lick. I burn, erode, flesh dissolves beneath his contact, and I scream for the God I no longer have my physical faith in. Ooh, that is so good. I love that. Laura asked what JC was up to, and JC said working on some poems for tomorrow night. I feel like I've chicken caught my teeth, so I apologize if you see anything. Okay, let's see. Laura said smart. Yay, chicken. There was a delay. That's okay. JC said, there was a delay, and Laura said, I wrote to the prompt. And JC said, I saw Laura mention chicken, but the timer was still going, so I was like, huh? Pasqua says, thanks for the sprints. It turned out to be pretty productive. Needs refinement, but it was productive. I am so glad, and I'm happy you got some stuff done. Laura said, I am also a mood reader. Raven said, almost done writing in my journal, then I'll go to bed. I am going to be hopping off here shortly to go play some games with my husband. I don't know what we're playing yet. I'll have to jump into Discord and on a phone call and ask him. So I just know that he wants to play a game. I just don't know if it's going to be Monster Hunter or if it's going to be something else. Monster Hunter is currently doing their Fire Festival. So I should have added those clips into that. I'll put them in the next vlog. It's fine. I'm not going to re-export a vlog just to add a couple of clips. Anyways, all right, that is all I'm seeing here as far as comments go. So I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We have done 4 sprints. I did a lot of video editing work in those sprints. I got my description that I'm going to be putting into YouTube when I upload it. I've got that set and ready to go. I was working on my video information for my next video that I'll be posting next week, next Thursday. Next Thursday, hold on. The 31st. Okay. I had to think about that and change the dates on stuff. So that's what I got done on these sprints. I hope everyone else had some productive stuff done. It sounds like everyone did so far. JC is like, no, comment. Laura says, I currently have a TBR of 16 books in my bed with me and 3 omnibus manga on my desk, maybe. Yes. I have 2 shelves full of books that I have not read yet on my physical TBR. And I say that as if they haven't been there for years. Some of those books I've had since I worked at the used bookstore when my children were babies. So I've had them for 15 plus years. That bookstore's been closed for almost as long as the kids have been alive. So that's fun. I got a video idea actually involving those that I'll be doing soon. JC was like, no, stay with us. I'm kidding. Go play games. And Laura says, JC says, that's a lot, Laura. When you see how many books are on my physical shelf that I haven't read yet, I think it's a little more than 16. Yeah, a little more. But yeah. JC says that again. I know how fast you read, so nope, that's good for you. Oh, okay. Someone, I don't know if it was JC or Stephanie the other day, asked me, I think it was JC, because I think I was talking to her about something I was working on at the time, which was a list of like books from AuthorTubers, because Heather Salter Purvis is doing AuthorTube August, I think is what it's called, where she's trying to read, she's got a bingo card and she's trying to read different books from AuthorTubers. And so I was trying to create a whole list of books I already own from different AuthorTubers. So she asked at one point, I'm pretty sure it was you, JC, asked how many books I had. I am so sorry about the hiccups and the burps. That's what I get for eating fast. She asked how many books I had on my e-reader, and the answer is over 2,000. And only about 300 of them have been read. So as far as like physical books go, I have 2 bookshelves full of books that I have not read yet. And then most of the books on my shelf, because what I do is I don't buy physical books unless, or at least these days, I don't buy physical books unless it's a book I've already read and I know and I love. So, but I've still got books from previous years before I started that I bought with the intention of reading and still haven't read over a decade later. So that's fun. I'm trying to cut that down. I'm trying to only have books, physical books on my shelf, because I've only got so much shelf space. I'm trying to make sure the physical books we have on our shelf are books we have read and love and will read again. That's what I'm trying to do. And someday I'll get to that point. My shelf, I want my shelf to be nothing but book trophies eventually. Let's see. No, but she said 16 currently in the bed with her. I haven't read most of my physical books, like physically, yeah. Oh, you mean like, okay, I get it. It was I. Okay, I thought it was JC, but I wasn't positive because and then Steph asked me a question, so I answered pretty much the same thing. Not quite the same thing, but pretty close. Laura says, I think I have 400 unread physical books. I have no idea how many unread books I have on my physical shelf. Like I said, there are some books where if they're part of a series, if I've liked the beginning parts of the series, I've continued getting the books in the series to do like marathon. Like Magic Tree House. I think I've only read the first 7 or 8. It's a middle grade story for anyone who doesn't know. I read Magic Tree House when I was a kid, and I started buying them whenever the kids started school and they did the Scholastic book fairs, and they were selling them in like bundles. I just went on a craze and bought all the Magic Tree House books because even though I hadn't read them, I knew I enjoyed them enough and the kids enjoyed them that was going to be something that we would all read. So I think I have the entire series, ? Maybe. I have 44 books and I've read 8. But that's not even the ones I'm counting as far as like books I have owned that I haven't read yet, because I have read some of that series And because I didn't technically just buy that for me, that one's not on a shelf that I'm counting as far as like unread books, if that makes sense. That probably doesn't make sense. Yeah. But anyways, and JC says, see, I don't typically reread books, so I kind of prefer the physical from the jump, because once I read it in ebook, then I've read it, I'm done. Yeah. That's fair. That is fair. I think the one series that we're currently working on buying, that we haven't got the whole thing of, that we haven't read all of it, is there's two. There's one of mine and there's one of Justin's. And the one of Justin's, I've read some of the books in the series too. And mine is the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs. I've been trying to convince Justin to read it for years. It's one that I'm pretty certain he will like, but he hasn't started it. And we have the first 6 books. I think we have the first 6, and there's like 13 now, because I was waiting for them to come out in mass market paperback, and then I stopped getting them for a while. I have all the ebooks for the whole series. I haven't gotten all the physical form books. Justin does not read ebooks, period. He only reads physical books. So if there's a series that I'm trying to convince him to read, I get it in paperback form for him. And then the series that is mainly for him that I also read is Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. So we've got Mercy Thompson by Patricia Briggs for me, and Dresden Files by Jim Butcher for him. And Jim Butcher just announced a new book in the series that comes out in January. So I sent that to Justin, and I was like, look, we have to get caught up on the series. We could get this one when it comes out. So, because we don't have, he's read all of them because my dad has all of them, but we don't own all of them ourselves yet. We're slowly getting them. I think we're missing like 2 or 3. Because again, we were trying to get all the mass market paperback, or what qualifies as mass market paperback, because they changed the sizes. JC says, like, it would have to be a book I haven't read in decades for me to reread it. Like we're reading Mice and Men, which I haven't read since high school. See, I've never read it. So, did you end up getting a copy of that one? I have not been to my library. My whole plan was to go to my library to see if they had a copy. They probably do, maybe. With school starting back up in another month, they might not actually have a copy, because I think the high school here reads it, and they might have their copy loaned out to some high school students. I could be wrong. I could be making shit up. I don't know what I'm saying. I have not checked the library, is what I'm saying. I was waiting until you could get a copy of it before I try to go get a copy of it, because if it turns out my library doesn't have it, I will go ahead and order it and buy it. So it's not a big deal. Laura says, I need to be up in 7 hours. I need to sleep. Have a good night. I hope you have a good night, Laura. And thank you for joining us. I am actually going to be wrapping this up very shortly myself, because I want to go play games. But I hope you have a good night and sleep well. JC also has not been to the library. Okay, that makes me feel a little better. The moment you go to the library and get a copy of it, let me know so I can go ahead and get it. I will purposely stop at the library on my way to work and see if they have it, because my library is open weird hours. They're open like 10 to 5, and then they're closed from 5 to 7, and they're open 7 to 9. And I have to be at work at 9, so I could technically stop by the library before I go to work. I just haven't. Oh, I didn't even think about checking for an ebook. That is a brilliant idea. Do you have the Libby app by chance? Oh, the Kindle's only $5. And the paperback's only $7. So I could just technically get the paperback. Ooh, they have mass market. Oh, I love it when they say they have mass market paperback. That's $8. Oh, that book's not very long. It's like 107 pages. Why is books so expensive? Sorry. I understand why they're expensive. Okay. Anyways, Laura's doing hearts. Pascal says good night. Raven is also signing off. Thank you for joining us, and everyone have a good night. JC does have the Libby app. Okay, I see your message about go play games. Yeah, we'll chat offline because we're gonna do a buddy read of Mice and Men. So thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and go play some video games, and see you all next week. I will have vlogs popping up next week. I've already got it edited. I've just got to upload it. Everything's ready to go, and I'll have videos starting again next week as well. So yeah, I'll see you all very soon, and I will stream next weekend, of course, at 9:30 Mountain Time. But in the meantime,